welcome to my channel Forever Celeb. When a legend no longer fears what lies ahead, is it because the most terrifying moments happened long ago, and nothing since has matched their weight? At 92 years old, Willie Nelson no longer stands poised atop myth and legend, he stands at the edge of truth. A man whose songs have not only echoed through the heart and soul of America but have become the very soundtrack of a nation's collective memory. A man who has gifted the world dozens of chart-topping hits. Not just for himself but for an entire generation of artists whose lives and careers he helped shape. His legacy is vast, sprawling, and defies any simple measure. Yet, the deeper you look into the life of Willie Nelson, the clearer it becomes that the light which illuminated his career was born from shadows unseen by most. He has lived long enough to bury friends who once stood beside him in triumph, to watch fortunes evaporate like smoke, and to witness dreams, once blazing bright with promise, slowly turning to ash. While countless tales celebrate happy endings, for Willie, that ending shattered long ago. When asked about death, he does not flinch. He does not cloak himself in denial or bravado. Instead, there is a stillness in him, quiet, profound, even unsettling, because the greatest pain he carries is not what lies ahead, but all that he has already lost behind him. The son he never had the chance to hold. And from that moment onward, every other loss echoed through his soul. If Willie Nelson's music has ever touched you, in a lyric, a memory, or a fleeting moment you cannot explain, leave a like below. Let it be a silent tribute to a man who carried a lifetime of loss but still found the strength to sing through the silence. But this remarkable journey did not begin at the zenith of success or fame. It began much earlier, when a 5-year-old boy stood alone on a tiny stage in the dusty, sun-baked fields of Depression-era Texas. Trembling, unseen, yet already learning the harsh lesson of being left behind, a small fracture that would quietly follow him throughout his entire life. Willie Hugh Nelson was born on April 29, 1933, in the quiet town of Abbott, Texas. He was born into a world that would teach him early and relentlessly that nothing stays, that promises are fragile and often broken. His parents, Merle and Ira Nelson, chased dreams that carried them far beyond the borders of their small town. But in pursuing those dreams, they left behind something more fragile and precious, their children. At just 6 years old, Willie stood silently as his mother walked away, leaving him and his sister Bobby in the care of their grandparents, with promises to return that were never fulfilled. His father soon disappeared, carving out a new life apart from them. And in that profound silence, a question began to grow inside young Willie's heart and mind. What was missing in me that made the people I loved leave? His grandparents, William and Nancy Smothers, did all they could to offer warmth and stability. Before he could fully grasp its significance, they placed a guitar into his small hands. Through music, they sought to give him something permanent in a world that kept shifting beneath his feet. But even the truest love, steady and sincere, could not fully silence the echo of abandonment that lived inside him. Under the relentless Texas sun, Willie worked the cotton fields, his hands raw and bleeding, learning lessons no classroom could ever teach. Pain became familiar. Endurance became instinct. Somewhere between endless rows of cotton and the boundless horizon, he began to understand that survival was not about comfort, it was about continuing, no matter what. Music soon became more than a pastime, it became a language and a refuge. At 7, he wrote his very first song. It was rough, unpolished, but real enough to carry the emotions he could not yet speak aloud. By 10, as he stood on small stages with his first band, something shifted inside him. For the first time, he was no longer the boy who was left behind. He was someone who people wanted to listen to, someone the crowd welcomed. Yet, even as applause echoed through those rooms, the deeper wounds remained untouched. He learned early that people come and go. That trust can shatter without warning. That relying on others often exacts a painful cost. These early lessons carved resilience but also distance into his soul. They showed him that attachment, while beautiful and human, could also trap you in a web of expectations reality might never meet. And so, the boy who had once stood alone in the shadow of abandonment quietly began to build an inner belief that true freedom might come only when you stop needing anyone or anything to stay. By the early 1960s, Willie Nelson believed he had finally found what had been missing all his life, a sense of belonging shaped by love. He married Martha Matthews, and for a fleeting moment, their world resembled something whole and hopeful. Their home echoed with the laughter of their 3 children: Lana, Susie, and Billy. From the outside, it appeared the kind of life people dream of building. But at the same time, Willie was chasing another dream, one equally vital: his place in Nashville, the throbbing heart of country music. He wrote songs that bled raw emotion, songs destined to become timeless classics. But talent alone was not enough to survive those early days. While stars like Patsy Cline brought his lyrics to life, Willie himself was barely holding on. He took any work he could find, selling encyclopedias door to door, pumping gas, doing whatever it took to stretch a few dollars into another week of survival. The contrast was almost cruel. A man who would one day shape an entire genre was, at that time, sleeping on borrowed couches and counting coins just to buy groceries. Over time, the weight of that reality settled deep into his home. Martha had fallen in love with a dreamer, but dreams do not fill empty cupboards. The tension started quietly, small disagreements about money, about time, about the yawning gap between ambition and reality. But over time, those moments grew sharper, more frequent, more personal. Each failed audition, each rejection followed Willie home, where it no longer stayed silent. Martha's frustration became a mirror he could not avoid, a man who could move strangers to tears with his songs, yet could not bring peace to his own home. Then came the night when everything collapsed inward. The bills were overdue, rejection letters stacked higher than hope, and words spoken between them crossed lines that could not be undone. Willie wandered into the cold Nashville night, lost in an alcohol haze and despair. And in that moment, he reached a point few ever speak about, a place where the pain feels heavier than the will to continue. Cars passed, tires screeched, voices shouted, but none of it ended his story. Suspended between giving up and holding on, he realized something he had never fully understood before, that even in his darkest moment, something inside him refused to disappear. When he finally returned home, there was no comfort waiting, only distance, only words that cut deeper than silence. The marriage did not end in a single moment, but in that night, Willie knew it was already gone. And with it came another harsh truth. That love, when strained beyond its limits, can transform into something unrecognizable. It can wound in ways nothing else can. The man who would one day give voice to heartbreak for millions was now living it raw and unfiltered, learning that some pain does not resolve itself in melody, and some scars stay long after. The music fades. Years later, in 1991, Willie Nelson lost something no amount of time, no amount of music, no amount of strength could ever restore: his eldest son, Billy Nelson, who chose to step away from his life at just 33 years old. From that moment on, a part of Willie's world would never return to what it was before. Some pain arrives without noise or warning. It seeps in quietly, then stays, settling into the places no one else can see. Billy had lived his life carrying a name the world already understood before it ever tried to understand him. But being known is not the same as being seen. And whatever he was facing, whatever weight he carried, it remained hidden even from those who loved him most. That is the part that never leaves you. The not knowing. The questions that have no answers. The moments you replay long after they're gone, searching for something that might have been different. Something that could have changed the ending. When the news came, it didn't bring clarity. It brought silence. The kind of silence that fills a room even when people are speaking. The kind that follows you long after everyone else has gone home. In later years, Willie would speak about losing a child, but never in a way that tried to explain it. Because there is no explanation that can hold something like that. There is only the weight of it carried forward day by day. Those closest to him saw it differently. Not as collapse, but as something deeper. Something quieter. His sister, Bobby Nelson, remained beside him. Not trying to fix what couldn't be fixed. Not trying to fill a silence that didn't want words. Because some grief does not ask to be spoken. It asks to be endured. And that is what makes this kind of loss different. It doesn't end. It doesn't resolve. It becomes part of you. The way you see everything. The way you listen. The way you remember. The way you carry love. Knowing now that it can break in ways nothing can protect against. There is no lesson that